Hey, happy Monday. I am incredibly sweaty. I just came from a class and I'm very hot and sweaty. Damn, this class was hard. I did two yesterday. I did two cardio classes yesterday. I did another one this morning. I'm about to die. And then this evening I'm going to be out mowing the yard. Lord have mercy. I didn't work this hard physically in my 20s. What the fuck? Okay. I just had to drop off a package. Now I have to go to Aldi. We're out of water bottles. I grabbed the last one on my way out the door this morning. Whee! I've been working, of course. I got up early this morning. I worked on my day job. I actually do have a real job. I'm a paralegal, in case you're new here and you didn't know. I do work remotely for a firm in another state. And I do paralegal work. I don't work every day. I don't work full time. I work usually I work 3 days a week, but it really depends on the workload. If we have a lot come in, I'll work more. I just do whatever is needed. And I just work for one attorney, and I'm like a one-man band. I take care of all of his filings and upkeep on everything, and that's what I do. And I've been doing that for years. I started working as a paralegal in 2007. It's definitely not what I expected to do as a grown-up. I have 2 college degrees and I'm not using either one of them. I'm not worried about it though, because I'm happy. I like what I'm doing. Very few people, well, I don't know if it's very few, but a lot of people end up not using their degree for what they get a degree, but they end up doing something totally different. That's very common. Now, I graduated from college in 1995. I finished my first degree in 95. Then I took some time off to work full-time and pay some bills. And so that way I could save up some money and just pay for my classes as I took them to finish my second one, so I wouldn't have to take out any more loans. Every semester I always borrowed the smallest amount possible, and I worked all through college except for my freshman year. But my freshman year was a nightmare. There was a lot of personal/family stuff going on that year. I didn't have a car. I had no way to get around. So that I didn't work my freshman year, but I got a job the summer after my freshman year and worked full time, and I've been working ever since. And I worked in high school too. I got a job the week I turned 16 and worked until I graduated, and then the summer before college. And but then my car died and I had no car, so I had to save up money for another car. How the hell did I get off on that? I don't know. Also, if you're new here, I tend to ramble. It does get on people's nerves sometimes. Like, can't you stick to the subject? No, because my brain is like a squirrel in the middle of the road, and it just does like this right here. It doesn't know what it wants to do. It has too many things going on at once, and it just pings around in there like a BB in a boxcar. I don't know, man. But, yeah. Okay, so I was saying, I graduated from college. I hate this phone holder. It bounces. We're not having an earthquake. My phone holder is just shitty. So I graduated in 95 and finished with my psychology degree. And my plan initially was to go on to graduate school. I wanted to get into clinical psychology originally. A Lincoln Continental. There is a beautiful blue Lincoln Continental over there. If it goes straight, you'll get to see it when it goes past. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh, wow, look at that. Did you see that? Damn. Okay, sorry. I love cars. Anyway, the gas mileage on those things is god-awful, but they're so cool. Okay. I think they have a V8. They're heavy, too. They're like a tank. They're a land yacht. All right. When I was in high school, the drum they beat was go to college, go to college, go to college. You got to go to college. Well, not everybody needs to go to college. I know that's not a popular opinion, but I'm telling you, Not everybody, and I'm not saying that you're not smart. Some people just are going to go on down a different path, and college is just not necessary. I'm just being honest. It's not. You're not going to need it to do what you want to do. And college is not a guarantee to a good job. Now, back when I graduated from high school in 91, and I got my first degree in 95. I finished my second one in 98 because, like I say, I took some time off, and I took like 1 or 2 classes at a time as I could afford it, and then I finished my English degree in 98. When I graduated, back then, you could, at least with a 4-year degree, you could get your foot in the door in a company. You could get started in a job. You know, it might be ground level, entry level position, you know, but you could get your foot in the door, and that's what I did. Originally, my plan was to go to graduate school, like I said, but I changed my mind and decided I just didn't want to do that. I did really well on the GRE. They say the SAT is indicative of the score you'll get on the GRE. I did way better on the GRE than I did on the SAT. I blew away my SAT score. My GRE, I did really well on it. But I just decided I don't want to go to graduate school. I don't know what I want to do, but I don't want to do that. So I went through a little mini panic, like, oh shit. I was so sure that's what I wanted, but now I don't know. I don't think I want that. I don't know what I want to do. I didn't worry about it too much though, but like I say, back then, if you had a 4-year degree, you could get your foot in the door in a lot of different types of jobs. It was a good way to get into a job, entry-level job. It might not pay much, but, you know, it would get your foot in the door, and you could, you know, maybe work your way up. Anymore, I mean, 4-year degrees are a dime a dozen. It's not a guarantee of anything anymore. It's dog eat dog out there trying to find a job. It's tough. But I'm glad I went. I learned a lot about myself. I really did. I learned what I was capable of. I learned that I was capable of a lot more than I thought. I gained a lot of confidence going to college and seeing, you know what, there were people in my life who said you'll never make it, you'll never finish, you'll be home by Christmas. You know, you think you're a big shot, you're going to get over there and find out you're not. And you know, there was a lot of that. I was hanging around some toxic people, and they were high school dropouts, in and out of jail, and they didn't want to see me succeed because I guess it made them look bad, or, you know, it's like, I don't know. They like crabs in a bucket. They wanted to keep me down with them. But fortunately, I had the presence of mind to see that, and, you know, to see it for what it was, and to ignore it basically, and all I said was, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, you'll be home by Christmas. We'll see. No, I was not home by Christmas. I graduated with honors. I almost had a double major in 4 years. I only needed 3 credit hours to have a double major in 4 years while working and being a research assistant. I only needed 1 class, but I was completely burnt out. I was very burnt out, and I had to get out of there for a while. I had to take some time off. I couldn't do it. I was burned out. And I was not doing well physically either. That's when I was dealing with anorexia, and I made a video about that a while back. I was physically just weak. I was very weak, and I needed a break. And I knew I needed a break. So I went ahead and finished up and graduated with my 1 degree and decided, you know what? I will finish up the other one when I get to it. I'm not worried about it. It was kind of a bonus degree anyway. It was English. I wasn't really worried about it. I wasn't really planning on doing anything with it. The funny thing is, it was that English degree that got my foot in the door in the law firm where I worked for 18 years. But yeah, I had to have 12 credit hours at UNC Greensboro to graduate from there. Because I thought, well, I'll just go get the 3 at UNCG and graduate. They said, no, you have to have a minimum of 12 hours to graduate from here. I said, so basically you're saying you don't have enough of my money yet. You need some more of my money, so I have to take 3 more classes. That's what you're saying. The admissions lady didn't appreciate my sarcasm. Like, what's true? You're mad because it's true. What did I say that was incorrect? You want more of my money before you let me graduate. So anyway, I ended up having to take 4 classes instead of 1. And I just took bullshit classes. I just took classes that looked easy and fit into my work schedule, because I was working full time. And I would just take like 1 class, pay for it, and then save up some more money, take another class, pay for it. I wasn't in a huge hurry. I worked in hospital pharmacy for part of that time, and let's see. Okay, I worked in hospital pharmacy until I finished that. Then I got a job as a social worker. And I did that for about a year, and that's when I met my first husband and moved to Illinois. And then you have the whole cult experience. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. I've talked about why I don't talk about that. It's not a fun thing to sit back and reminisce about. I did write a whole book based on my experience called River Road, if you ever want to read it. Or listen to it. On my other channel, I have a 17-part video series where I read the book to you. And it's a fiction novel, but it's based partly on my experiences and the experiences of other people in the group that I talked to, and got their stories and everything, and kind of worked that in there. So I really feel for young people today, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible. What I saw a lot of young people doing when I was in college, and even then it struck me as like, they shouldn't be doing that. That's not a good idea. Every semester, every year, I borrowed as little as possible. I mean, I was like, how far down, and I was scraping by. I was just living on nothing. I mean, I worked part-time to help supplement, help pay my rent, and I had a car payment, and, pay for food and all my tuition and books and whatever, living expenses. I tried to keep the amount I borrowed as low as possible. I could have borrowed a lot more. And what I saw a lot of young people doing was borrowing the maximum amount every semester. And I had a roommate who was doing that. And I said, look, you do understand, I'm not trying to be condescending, but you do understand that you have to pay that back. And her attitude was, oh, it's not going to be a problem. I'm going to get a really good paying job. I'll pay it back in no time. Like, well, you don't know that. I'm not saying you're not capable, but I wouldn't bet on that. You're going to end up with a lot of debt. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to get a great job. I'll pay it off in no time. I don't know if she ever did. She moved out. She lived there for a couple of years. And then she moved she moved somewhere else. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know whatever became of her. I don't know if that worked out for her or not. But what I saw a lot of kids doing was borrowing the maximum amount and then taking that, and they didn't work. You can work and go to school. It's not fun. It's not easy, but I'm not saying every situation is the same, but I know I didn't have much of a life, especially my second 2 years. I didn't have much of a life, but it was a sacrifice I was willing to make. And they were taking some of the money that they borrowed, and they would go on these fancy vacations. One of my roommates took some of her student loan money and went to Brazil for a week. They're just taking their student loan money and doing irresponsible things with it. Let's watch. I don't want this car to hit me. So, and my roommate who went to Brazil, I'm like, because there was one point where I lived on campus and I had 3 roommates. We were in these apartment things. And yeah, she took some of her student loan money and went to Brazil for spring break. Flew to Brazil on student loan money. And I'm sitting here like, wow, oh my God. I'm like 18 years old going, this is my freshman year. I was 17 when I started my freshman year. So I would have been 18. Well, yeah, 18 by spring break. And even then, I'm sitting there going, that is so irresponsible. Don't do that. you do understand when you take out debt, you have to pay it back. You are signing on the dotted line saying you'll pay it back. I would not borrow money to go on a trip to Brazil. That's just me. I mean, you could take my advice and, disregard it. You can yell at me, whatever, but damn, I don't know. I did. The entire time I was in college, I borrowed as little as possible. And when I was finishing up my second degree, it's a Geo Metro. The Geo Metro just went by. A little white one. It's about a 94. It was one of the later. It was about the last year they made those. Yeah, so when I finished my English degree, I just paid cash and took like one class at a time as I could afford to pay for it and not have to go and, borrow any money to pay for it. I don't know. I guess because that's how I was raised though, don't spend money you don't have. If you can't afford it and you can do without, you do without. I don't know. That's just how I was raised, but I don't know. I have a lot of feelings about allowing 18-year-olds to take on that much debt. I don't feel good about it. I don't like it. But there are ways to get college degrees more affordably. You could go to a community college for the first couple of years. You could go into the military. They will help pay for it. I have several relatives who did that. Actually, my brother did that. Damn, I forgot that. Yeah, my brother did that. He went into the Navy and they paid for him to go to college. And so, I mean, there are different ways. If you really want to get a college degree, you can. You might qualify for grants. I didn't because my parents made too much, even though they didn't help me pay for any of it. But it was based on their income, so I didn't qualify for anything. I don't even know why I'm rambling about this. I think originally I had a point, but I don't know what it was. But yeah, but anyway, a 4-year degree used to be a pretty good guarantee. You could get a job, and I needed an English degree to get a proofreader job at the law firm where I worked for many years, and I ended up I'd worked in the word processing department for years. I worked there from 2000 to 2007. Doing just all kinds of word processing stuff. I learned how to transcribe, tapes, and they would dictate things, or I would have to transcribe phone calls, deposition summaries, all kinds of things. Learned how to do that. I learned how to do stuff in Excel and PowerPoint, which I'd never done before. Word, I didn't really know anything about it. I had to learn how to use Word Perfect, which I still prefer over Word. I think it was a better program, but Word won out, so whatever. I made myself useful to the company. I wasn't just the proofreader. I was hired to be just a proofreader. But I realized very quickly there was not enough work for me to just do that. So I was constantly asking if there was anything else I could do. Like, I'm happy to learn. I'm willing to learn to do other things. Anything I can do to help out. So I learned how to do all kinds of different word processing type stuff, and it made me more valuable to the company. And I survived probably 6 or 7 different rounds of layoffs over the 18 years I was there. And yeah, you gotta give them a reason to keep you. I mean, trust me, there are plenty of people lined up to take your job if you don't want it anymore. You have to, what can you do that is worth a good salary? What can you do? What can you do that's worth it? If you can't do anything, you could always go back to school. You could see if there are opportunities for training and education in your job. You have to make yourself valuable to the company. And I know that may sound unfair, but life is unfair, and that is how it works. I don't know why I'm not lecturing. I'm just telling you. I just see a lot of, especially young people, and I saw this in the law firm. They would come in Like, they would work in the department where I work. These young people will get hired fresh out of college and come in and immediately start demanding this, that, and the other. And I'm like, you just started here. What are you doing? They're already talking about, when do I start getting vacation time? When is it too soon to ask for a raise? That's not in my job description. I don't have to do that. I'm going on break now. Can you do this for me? No, I can't help you out, but I want you to help me out. Just very, I don't know, very entitled, honestly. I saw a lot of that. Just, it seemed like all they were really good for was sitting around and complaining. And I'm not saying all young people are like this. And hell, I know people, oh, don't get me started. There was this one lady I worked with who was a good bit older than me. She was like that. God, she was awful. And she had worked there forever. Bless her heart. She was not doing anything that was not explicitly stated in her job description. Don't even ask. Not doing it. No. Now I will sit here on the phone and talk to my child all day long. And I will make personal phone calls and sit here and play solitaire on my computer. But I don't care how busy you are. That right there is not in my job description, and I'm not going to do it. Nope. Not going to do it. Needless to say, she did not survive all the layoffs, and she was furious when they laid her off. She was livid. She couldn't believe it. Like, you don't do anything. There are like 3 things that you think you're supposed to have to do here, and you're never willing to help anybody with anything else. What did you expect was going to happen? They had to trim the fat. See ya. You know, you're just, I hate the saying, but you're not a team player. You're in it for you. She was constantly asking for raises. She was constantly complaining. Like, we're all sick of it, quite frankly. If you want to make good money, you are going to have to offer something that's worth good money. And if you are in it, and I've had this happen too, if you're working in a place where you are working hard, you are giving them value, you truly are, and you're underpaid, go somewhere else. Start looking for another job. That's exactly what I did. Like, yeah, I'm tired of working in this drugstore where I make shit money and I'm busting my ass. I'm one of the hardest working people in this store. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm like, objectively, I work harder than everybody else that works in the evenings. And I am making shit money for it. And okay, well, let's pursue something else then. Let's take the skills that we have here and take them somewhere else. And I took them to hospital pharmacy and doubled what I was making. Started out making twice what I was making in the drugstore in retail. Just starting out, just as a trainee, I was making twice as much. So it's definitely worth looking around. If you truly are a hard worker, there are places that will take advantage of you. They will take advantage of that, and they will shit on you and not pay you anything. They will treat you like crap. If that is the case, look for another job. It can't hurt, and you might end up much better off. Not just for the money, but the environment might be better. You might be less stressed out. It could be good for you all the way around to try to pursue something different. Don't feel like you have to stay in that job. You don't. You absolutely don't. So I don't know if you want to hear that. Some young people don't want to hear this. Some older people don't want to hear it. You may not want to hear it, but if your life for any reason sucks and there's anything you can do about it, do it. Do it. As my parents always told me when I was growing up, nobody is going to come knock on your door and hand you anything on a silver platter. Anything you want, you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to go get it. You're going to have to do it yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you a damn thing. If you want nice things, if you want this, you want that, you are going to have to get off your ass and make it happen. Raw. Because that you know what? I have to remind myself that sometimes. You want it? How bad do you want it? Are you willing to put in the work to make it happen? Okay, go for it. Go do it. Quit sitting here bitching go do it. Nobody owes you shit. Nobody. You are not owed anything. I heard that a lot growing up. That was drilled into my head all my life. Nobody owes you anything. If you want it, you're going to go get it. If you don't want it bad enough, you will never have it. Okay. It's true. It sucks, but it's true. All right, I'm going to go in here and get my water bottles. I got to get back home and get back to work. Later, I got to mow the yard. And I got to go back to Costco. I got to get my sunglasses adjusted again. They're still too loose. These are my cheap sunglasses. They're just little Dollar General $5 sunglasses, but they don't flop around like that pair does. So anyway, I hope you are having a happy Monday. I didn't mean to get all preachy, but I don't know. I just feel like somebody out there needed to hear that. And I just talk about whatever pops into my head. I'll try to get off the lecturing bent. You know, I had an idea for a video tonight. I think I'm going to go for it. I was talking about tapping yesterday, and I do actually have some stuff that when I first saw it, I thought that would be a good lot of stuff to tap on. I have this bag of plastic, like kids' toys, that I found at Goodwill, and they would be really good for tapping. So I think I'm going to make a video tonight tapping on that stuff. And let people complain. I don't care. Let them complain. I'll block them. If you want to complain, I'll block you, because I'm sick of people complaining when I make it very clear what kind of video it is, and they click on it and watch it anyway, and knowing they're not going to like it. I'm tired of messing with people. I'm tired of it. I've blocked so many people in the last year, and I'll just keep on doing it. I am tired of people being petty. I'm tired of people being nitpicky. And I've just decided I don't want to hear it anymore. And I'm not going to engage these people in conversation. I'm not going to engage them in debate. I will just block them, and then I will never have to deal with them again. Take no prisoners. That's the way I feel about it. You're ruining my fun, I will just kick you out of my house. That's what I do in real life too. I got at least 2 toxic ex-husbands that could attest to that shit. You want to ruin my life? I'd kick your ass out. I'm not talking about all 3. There might be one that's all right. But the other 2 could go eat shit. I don't care. So, thank you for being here. Happy Monday. I didn't mean to lecture you. I did not mean to get off on that. I don't know. I never know where these conversations are going to go. But thank you so much for being here. Happy Monday. It's going to be a good day, and it's going to be a good week. And I'll see you again soon.